Dylan, big news for you. Bournemouth Wolves will be one of the top 3 games we talk about.
Seriously?
Yeah. I think that's a storyline.
Yeah, sure, yeah. Revenge is a dish best served cold. I like it.
The NAFTAA Podcast.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
NAFTAA Podcast. We are back. Michael, what episode is it?
624.
624, episode 624. The full crew is back in the building. We got some winners. Actually, no one lost game-wise, but we got some big winners because Nick Tucker hit a big old parlay, which we'll get to in a minute. We also have a ton to get into. Dylan wins the Grudge Bowl. Chelsea look okay, look decent. Mudryk has the most Mudryk goal ever. Villa, are they legit? Tottenham, are they legit? We're going to get into all of it, but first things first. Every podcast that I listen to has talked about Sir Bobby Charlton. I think the cool thing about being an American fan is, if I'm being completely honest, didn't know too much about him, and then got to research a lot of him this week. So big-time Ballon d'Or winner. I know he's a Man United guy. As a City person, this is me doing some, across the aisle. We should figure that out in the House of Representatives. But ton of goals, Ballon d'Or winner. And also, for me, as if anyone knows my biggest fears, survived a plane crash. So he's pretty much a god amongst men in my eyes. But the one thing I wanted to ask you guys, I did listen to Men in Blazers. They mentioned this little tidbit about him. He used to take a shot of scotch before every game before he went out there. So, Nick, we'll lead off with you. We were all athletes. Some of us think we still are. What's the pregame routine look like?
I'll divulge just real quick. He will remain unnamed. There was a kid I played basketball with. We were at an away game. He could chug a beer in literally 3 seconds. And we're like, we don't believe you. We're at an away game. In the locker room, pulls out a Heineken. This is 25 minutes before tip-off. And slugs it.
Had to be a bottle too, right?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So he brought it to school on the bus into an away team locker room. Slugged it. Absolutely slugged it. And our coach walks in 5 minutes later. They're putting shaving cream in the bag, this whole thing. He goes out and drops like 25 points. Like, just absolutely dimes up. So, of course, the next game's a home game. We're like, you got to do it again. So he slugged another beer in the locker room.
You gotta do it again.
How'd he do?
He did okay, but we didn't do it after that one again. We felt like we definitely were flying too close to the sun.
To build off of that before you go, we had a dude at our school, same kind of situation. Shout out to Kendall Washington, still in jail, I think, but got to go to West V for football at one point. Basketball team, we weren't very good. He was the best player by far. Pretty sure he would get through a whole blunt before the game. Still the best player on the team. We were bad, but still the best player on the team. So, high school stories abound in this one. Nick, pregame routine.
Usually just kind of have a good meal and then I listen to some music, but I would always put, it had to be right sock on first, left sock second. It was just this routine of things, and I didn't, putting the clothes on the same way. And if I was on a hitting streak or playing well, I wouldn't wash my socks. So I started my senior year with a 12 or 13 game hitting streak, and those things were standing straight up. And Barb was not pleased when I told her she wasn't allowed to watch them.
I love that. I'm pretty sure everyone here, there's only 2 mothers that are attached to this podcast, but my mom cleaned my socks too. So not very grown-up men on this one, but that's fine. Michael, what about you?
Not really I don't really have like a pregame ritual like clothing-wise or anything like that, but I was closing pitcher. I was a reliever, so like the first 8 innings of the game, I didn't do jack shit. So what would get me going is I just tried to find an enemy on the other team to get me motivated.
And just make fun of him the whole time?
Yeah,
What is this,
like
the water boy?
just the I'd watch, I would, be in the game. As soon as somebody on that team did something that I just even irked me a little bit, I just every reason under the sun to like, that guy fucking sucks. And I just get like in my own head about it and just get fired up.
Dylan?
I think I was the opposite. I'm a very happy person, so I would piss the people off because I would just be laughing the whole time and try and have conversations with them in lacrosse. If any of you laxer bros out there playing attack and the ball's on the other side, you kind of have to stand next to your defender. So I just shoot the shit with them, which would piss them off even more. And then when you would score on them, you just laugh at them. I was the complete opposite. I didn't need to get motivated. I just played.
Just went out there. As most of you guys know, ADHD is the enemy of routine, so I didn't have anything. I was kind of a spaz, I know you're not allowed to use that word anymore. Anyway, just kind of showed up.
Can you spaz?
Yeah, Lizzo got canceled on that one.
Really?
Was it because of that or because she was like harassing her dance team?
I mean, someone might have been eating a banana out of a different orifice that we don't need to talk about because our mothers listen to this pod, but she did get canceled because of that as well.
Look, don't Google that. Don't Google that.
Yeah,
Karen.
No.
Right.
I liked Michael's though. I did like playing a little angry.
I played a lot angry.
Whether it was the music going or like whatever it was, but yeah, I loved having a little bit of anger in my heart, in my stomach when I was playing any sport, any time I played a game ever.
I like to think that origin story for Michael, or that villain story, that villain arc, was because of myself. I think there is a world where if I didn't exist, Michael could have been just like Dylan.
No, you know who taught me that? He'll never hear this. He'll literally never hear this.
Rob Dibble. Definitely Rob Dibble.
No, fuck off. It was the whole Nordquist family.
Oh, yeah.
That was the only thing that just get angry. And to your other point, and then we can move on from this because I think we've beat a dead horse here. I tried to have a routine, like something, just because I thought it was like kind of a sign that you were good, that you had like something that you did every time. I couldn't remember like what I did every single time, so I just had to be like, I gotta stop doing it.
ADD runs deep in our family. I do think, Michael, though, there were many a nights down in the basement on a little Tykes hoop where your shit was getting swatted into the crawl space.
Yeah, it was the worst.
That made us started the anger there a little bit, whatever.
Just because you would let me get like a point away from winning, and then you just never let me score again. Yeah. And then you beat me, and it would drive me insane.
Older brother stuff. Nick knows all about it. Look, the one last thing I want to say, guy seems like a really good dude, Sir Bobby Charlton. I'm going to call out my fans here. Don't sing the fucking song. It's stupid. It's kind of dumb. He's not Queen Elizabeth. Lizzie in the Box is such a better song than Bobby's in a Box. Don't
they got
sing
banned.
that shit. Yeah. It's pretty fucked up.
And also the fact that, outside of what you said, he won England their only World Cup. So, and also, City wasn't even relevant back then. What are they upset about?
So let's get into Shut Up and Dribble. We'll do that now. Nick had to take it too far, as always. So a couple headlines we want to talk about. One, Nick didn't have any clue yet a crush on Sophia Bush. As a man this close to getting married, do you think it's wise to be okay with infidelity?
Oh no, I think it's the worst thing you could possibly do. But ever since One Tree Hill, that was always everyone's like, "What's your number one celebrity crush?" It was always Sophia Bush for me.
So Sophia Bush has broken up the women's soccer power couple that is Ali Krieger and Ashlyn Harris, whatever. Funny shit that's been going on, though, is women's soccer fans are ruthless, much like Taylor Swift fans. If you go on Ashlyn Harris's Wikipedia page right now, it says Ashlyn Harris is a female soccer player that is now retired and is known for playing 0 minutes in both World Cups and stuff like that. So yeah, any thoughts? Are we on either side of this one? Obviously, I think we're a pro Krieger pod at this point. Go ahead,
Let me
Michael.
just say, I have zero opinion on either of these people. Any of the people involved, I will take myself out of this conversation.
I think we have to throw our weight behind the only remaining couple on the team.
Who's and that is
Tobin Heath and Kristen Press.
yeah. Yeah.
I think we just throw our energy and positivity between the one that still exists and shows that true love is still out there.
I think, Nick, that is a really, really positive thing to say and a positive way to close this thing out. So let's get negative real quick. Taylor Swift and Mahomes' wife handshake, awful. Just bad.
We're gonna piss so many people off.
I disagree.
Dylan, come on. Dylan. Oh my God.
Dylan.
You're telling me you've never done that handshake growing up with like
Yeah, when I
no
was
that's the
friends
problem.
did something?
That's the problem.
Michael.
Michael mentioned,
If-
he goes, that handshake has every element of every standard secret handshake ever.
Look, Taylor Swift, and I say it all the time, pen to paper, fantastic, pen to paper. You can see her, though, the one problem I guess I would have with it is you can see her saying boop, boop, boop to get on rhythm, which explains a lot of the Lane Bennett's dance moves we see a lot of the times.
So
but
bad.
I don't think that's the issue people have trouble with. The issue is who else was in the box, and that's what Swifties are going to be upset about. Mahomes' brother's a problem.
Yeah,
Well, he sucks.
Yeah, I know, but I think it's collateral damage that she's in the box and he's there, but I think that's the bigger issue. Like, it has nothing to do with, like, I think it's already known that she's not the best dancer, so her having this handshake isn't going to be something that's throwing everyone off.
Listen, I'll go after her appropriately if she gets in a TikTok with Jackson Mahomes. After that, it's done. It's done and over with. I don't care. She can't help who goes in that box, like especially family-wise. I'm not going to criticize her for that. That handshake is
bad.
Again, I was getting off of this, like, Taylor Swift is a little cringe. She doesn't know how to, like, exist in, like, real life and with real people and stuff like that. And it's not her own fault. She has been a superstar from the time she performed at Alliance High School.
Yeah.
Like, years and years and years ago.
Really?
Yep,
time.
absolutely. So I'm just saying that I was on this trajectory up that, actually she's pretty normal. And then I saw that and I was like, man, she has a lot to learn. She has a lot of years to make up for.
But, like, she's a newborn in football. This is,
Well,
like,
that's
her
what
third game ever watching. Like, you gotta let her get it out of her
That's
system.
not exclusive to football handshakes.
That handshake, though, does remind me of, like, the saying of she looks like a baby deer. Like, it is her third football game. She does
That
look
is
like a
Bambi.
baby deer, like trying to figure it out. On top of that, though, I do think she might have a little bit more athleticism than Mahomes' wife. I think she was, like, counting her in a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then going after it.
And 1 and 2 and 3 and
Yeah.
4.
Didn't she play collegiate soccer?
Yes.
So I could have been wrong. I could be wrong.
I'm just saying,
you
I'm
know?
Yeah,
pretty
she
sure
played-
she
she
was
played-
a D1 athlete.
Yeah, she played D2 soccer for 4 years.
All right. Well, I stand corrected, and that won't be the last time on this episode, probably.
Last thing for me, to her defense again, because I know we usually speak very highly of Miss Swift on this podcast. Brittany Mahomes is definitely more into that handshake than Taylor Swift is.
Well, yeah, she needs it more.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I don't think it's like a mutual, like, they're both like, oh my god, like, girlfriend, let's make a fucking handshake. No, I think it's kind of
Brittany-
like, yeah,
She's
She's
Brittany
clout
Mahomes.
chasing big time.
Brittany Mahomes has brought this up at every game, and this is the first game Taylor's like, okay.
and she said it in front of, like, Travis Kelce's parents, so, like, Taylor kind of looks bad if she says no in front of the parents.
Yeah. Like, Brittany's been working on this one for a minute, which actually
She's like,
brings
so
me
how do I ask her?
to the actual last point on this. I do have a ton more respect for T Swift than I ever did. I don't know if it was on our pod or if I was just out to drinks. Dylan, I feel like you were there. But we were talking about who is actually the most famous person in the world. And I live in a Beyonce house, not by choice. My wife is a Beyonce person, and I for sure just thought it was Beyonce. I think Taylor Swift blows Beyonce out of the water now. It's insane how just popular she is.
You've offended 2 fan bases in one.
Yeah,
week.
You don't. I would cover up everything in your room. They'll definitely be able to find your address somehow.
If I cut up this pod correctly, I might be able to get a third one in there, and that's when the views start coming in. All right, let's get into something that actually has gotten a good amount of clicks lately. Dudes of the week. We're on like week 8 of this. Great idea. I think it was Michael, so let's not give him any credit, but that's fine. Dudes of the week. We'll run it this way. Dylan first, I'll go second, Nick third, Michael fourth. Why you want to go early, Michael?
No, I just think you're going to take one of my guys.
I doubt it.
You don't think so?
No.
Okay.
No, I doubt it. Dylan, lead us off. You're the big winner of the week, so lead us off.
I'd like to say you guys will be proud of me because I feel like I've been doing a lot of trolling in this segment, and I've decided to not do that this week. So, the other Neto is safe. Or all goalkeepers in general. So I will go with Douglas Luiz. First off, was filthy. Second of all, if you want a trend for betting, he has 5 goals this year. It's his 4th straight goal at home. So completely crushing it in front of the home fans. Something to keep an eye on.
Love that one.
That was my first one.
I had him.
Was it really?
I had him as well.
I strategically took him first because I figured everyone else was.
Just real quick to add to Dylan's, if I'm a not crier at all for any reason, I just not a crying person. Pre-game, the kid that has like inoperable cancer, that his favorite player is Douglas Luiz, and they did the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
So close.
Yeah.
So close to crying, and then he scores 2 goals. So like, good for him.
You should just do it sometimes.
Dude, I was on the couch by myself because Morgan and her friend Kayla were getting ready for like Ohio State, Penn State. I'm on the couch. Or sorry, no, it was Sunday, so it was to go to the Browns. I was like, I could just do it right now. And I was like, just let it happen. And I just can't do it.
Damn. My first dude of the week is actually a player for the Gotham FC, Delaney Sheehan, I think I said. We have Sheehan's back home. This might be Sheehan, whatever. Got the game-winning goal against the Courage. Now they're in the semifinals. So, as per usual, not a regular season New York-based soccer fan. Definitely a playoff New York-based soccer fan. So, shout out to Delaney with that goal. And now they're in the semifinals. They're going to play the Portland Thorns. That's not looking that great, but, we'll see what happens. Shout out to Gotham FC. Nick? Is it Nick?
I thought you said me.
No, you last, brother.
Oh, fuck.
I'm taking Diego Dalot. Thank you, you beautiful Portuguese savior that you are, for just finding a way to keep giving us hope when we know our heart's going to get stepped on. That was an unreal curler from the top, and when I saw the stat that the assist was from Lindelof, I was like, what? Because I wasn't able to watch because we were out golfing. I'm like, what the hell just happened? But Diego, you stole my heart, buddy.
Like that. Love it. Michael?
Beautiful. I'm going to go back-to-back American football picks here. Leading off, Maserati Marvin Harrison Jr. for the Ohio State.
Oh, American football. American football as in football. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, because football, to maybe some listeners here, means soccer.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
True.
Okay, I was correct.
You are.
Anyway, 62, I think, receiving yards, touchdown for the Buckeyes to seal the deal against Penn State. Don't even know what a nitty line is. No one could give me the answer. Not even Google.
I can give you the answer.
Yeah, I don't need it. Sealed the game away, as I said. And then we're going to go to professional American football. And we're going to go Myles Garrett. Would not have been close to beating the Colts. Probably still shouldn't have beat the Colts, if we want to be honest. I think he had like 2 forced fumbles, a blocked punt, or a blocked kick, which was absolutely absurd. And like 2 sacks or something like that. So shout out them. Good Ohio football weekend.
Love it. Nick, back to you.
Me.
Oh,
I literally knew you were gonna say this.
For putting together an unreal, unbelievable 10-leg, 10-game parlay. And not only just putting a bunch of money in my bank, I had many friends that were trailing with me, so I've earned myself some free beers over the next few visits with some friends. So, go me.
Actually, the fact that it is 10 legs, because I wasn't able to be in the group chat as much today. The fact that it was 10 legs, like, you kind of should have just shouted yourself out 3 times. That would have been a better move.
I was gonna save it for my last one, but Dylan took my other one, and I'm struggling to find a third one right now. So.
All good. You'll have a couple minutes here. My second pick, Tim Weah, assist in the American-Italian Serie A Bowl. They got the win 1-0 over AC Milan. So shout out to him. He's playing really, really, really well. Actually, every American that is in Italy right now, a la just AC Milan and Juventus, are actually playing pretty well right now. So shout out to Team USA. And I kind of feel weird. I've been shouting out U.S. men's national team players almost every week, and I've used to be kind of a hater. So people can change. Dylan, double dip.
I will start off with Robert Edwards. Luton got that fight in them, and I think that their manager should get a shout out for ruining one of my parlays. But the fact that I think they still might not win any games, but the fact that they can tie a ton of them, I don't know, makes things interesting at the bottom. So yeah, good for the Luton fans to kind of at least have that fight and know who they are.
Big Lutz out of the relegation zone.
Yeah,
crazy. They're
going to tie their way to freedom. My last one will be 6'7" strikers, namely Sasa Kulacek. We're still working on it. Literally he might be a better super sub than Adama because he actually can score, and maybe the most calm I've ever seen a Wolves player in front of net actually shooting the ball. It was unbelievable. So Sasa, you're the best. You should have probably gone an extra 15 minutes in that game, but thank you anyway.
I wish that we had people that actually knew what they were doing, editing things, and like maybe even a staff or something. That'd be sick. Means that we're big. But I would request by the end of this year just a cut up of a video of you saying his name throughout the year, because it's gonna be different every time.
Well, I was gonna stick to Sasa, but then I was like, you guys aren't gonna know who I'm talking about, so I gotta try the last name.
I appreciate it. My last pick, it's gonna be a total pander pick. Shout out to Sevilla, not just for tying Real Madrid, but their staff there worked very, very diligently. So much so that Vinicius Jr., who got a racist thing said to him for the 4 millionth time, he actually said thank you to the team because they dealt with the guy pretty quickly and got him out of there. So a team that's fighting its way back. Sergio Ramos still kind of a jackass, but team that's fighting its way back, and they got good people running it. So shout out to Sevilla.
And I'll have to take Gary O'Neill as my dude of the week. Revenge game. I gotta tell you, whatever he drank after the game had to taste pretty damn good. So good for you, Gary. Loving what you're doing for the Wolves right now.
I bet it was served cold. Michael, last pick.
Sorry, I was trying to find out how to pronounce this guy's last name. Tandem pick, mainly one guy, but kind of together. Okay. Ashley Young for Everton. 2 yellow cards. Gotta love to see that. Don't know why he's still playing. Doesn't really do anything on the field. But 2 yellow cards for him, 2 goals for Mo Salah. Give us a nice little win against our rival.
Big time. That would have been a great transition, but I did have one more thing that I wanted to pose to you guys. It is funny that we do 3 picks. It's never really made sense to me, but we've always kind of rolled with it. I do kind of think the last round, if we did a mandatory like dumbass of the week, like someone you don't like, I think
would an ironic pick.
No, like you know how like what is it? Hot 97 does Donkey of the Day or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
it's come on, man.
Yeah, that too. I would have given mine to whoever's running the MLS playoffs. Why is 68% of these teams getting in the playoffs? Kind of makes no sense.
What do you mean?
Drama. It's like every other American playoff.
And that answer's so easy.
It's 3-game series. I know it's cash. It's fine, Michael.
Yeah.
It's not 3-game series.
After the wild card, it certainly is.
That's new.
Yeah, I know. I know. The news broke to the MLS guy on the pod. Anyway, dudes of the week,
true.
done and dusted. That'll maybe be something we work on for the next time. Let's get into this week's games. It was a big week, as in there are some results in here that have been pretty interesting. Like I said, Dylan with a big revenge win. Our Villa for real. Chelsea and Arsenal battle it out. But first, let's get into some of the games that we can fly through. Michael, you mentioned it earlier. Liverpool 2, Everton 0. Salah with both goals in the 75th and stoppage time 90+7. Ashley Young, like you said, with a red card in the first half. Liverpool with a big win in the Merseyside derby. Brentford 3, Burnley 0. Wissa in the 25th and Buemo in the 62nd. And Godas in the 87th give Brentford all 3 points over Burnley. They still do not look very good. City 2, Brighton 1. Alvarez in the 7th, Holland in the 19th. And then City were pretty much silenced throughout the rest of the game. Ansu Fati got one back in the 73rd. But City hold on for all 3 points. Newcastle 4, Palace 0. An absolute ass-kicking. Jacob Murphy in the 4th, Gordon in the 44th, Longstaff right before the end of the first half, and then Callum Wilson in the 66th give Newcastle all 3 points. Michael, I took the parents this weekend to Floyd's before dinner, essentially. As I'm walking in, our amazing woman who's a Newcastle fan was walking out, and I said, "Big win, baby." She goes, "Big win, and then walked out.
I love her.
What a lady. Such a great lady. Forest, they share points with Luton. This could have been one of the games we spend more time with just because it was a big comeback. But Chris Wood had a brace, 48th and 76th minute. And then in the 83rd minute, Ogbene got one back, and Adebayo got another one back to tie it up for Luton. A big point for them, gets them out of the relegation zone. Sheffield 1, Manchester United 2. McTominay, the striker of the season for Man U in the 28th minute. McBurney tied it up on a pen in the 34th. And then Delo in the 77th minute. Give them the win. And then today's game, Tottenham Hotspur dispatched Fulham 2-0. Son in the 36th. And then James Maddison, who is just fucking red hot right now in the 54th minute. Big Ange, still battling, still winning. It's still working. When the covers have a little bit more of a message in it, and it's not totally apparent what I'm trying to do there, I try to mention it on the pod. The Men at Work, I Come From a Land Down Under. I don't know, you guys know the song, whatever. I took that cover and said Big Ange at Work on the front. So keep your eyes out for when this comes out. You'll be able to see that. Guys, where do you want to start? Michael, we'll start with you. Liverpool with a 2-0 win. Give us your quick hitting thoughts on top of the Salah brace.
Red card actually made it harder to score. I think it was pretty open for the most part. I do actually think 10 men is just, tough to break down in general. Unless you already have a lead, you got to kind of force them to come after you. But I thought we actually looked really good. Everton, I know they're not very good, and I want them to be even worse than they are. Like, nothing else in my life would make me happier, truly. But they do, XG at least, they do put up numbers sometimes. And I know it's with 10 men. I know that at that point they were trying to defend. But even when they had 11, they did not ever look like they were going to score. I think Konate got incredibly lucky not to get sent off 100%.
Yeah.
But I thought it was a really good performance. And then I think, Jota started because the South American players were coming back. That's another big problem that, depending on who says it, then it's actually an issue. But we can get into that maybe later.
Yeah, everyone I talked to that's a Liverpool fan this weekend kind of said the same thing, that as soon as the red card happened, it actually became less of a game that was exciting to watch. That's how Wolves beat City that way. You put 10 behind the ball and you have one guy cherry picking down the field. It might be a new theory to go after.
Get over
it. Brentford 3, Burnley 0. I don't think Brentford's back yet. Anyone else think Brentford's back yet? No. Burnley just bad.
I've only really
they're not
watched
very
one
good.
Burnley game this year. I think I need to watch a few more because, Are they really that bad? Like, I just don't know. My eyes haven't seen it.
Yeah, I don't know either. You know what would be interesting, and this is going to take a lot of mathematics, a lot of boy math to do this? I would love to see which games we miss the most. I feel like on what I predict, what I miss the most is Burnley this season. Like, I either pick them to win and they lose, or I pick them to lose and then they'll end up, like, tying or something. So that'll be interesting. Company still just doesn't, I think, have it all figured out yet. And, you know, maybe getting promoted isn't always the greatest thing. City 2-1. Look, I think Michael was giving me some stick at the end of the last pod about, like, hey, you guys better be ready for this one. In all honesty, this was the perfect game to try to get some confidence back because De Zerbi was not about to not come after us. And I think that's what ended up happening is we opened it up in the 7th and the 19th with the Alvarez and Haaland goal. It's good to get Haaland back on the score sheet. He's definitely lacking confidence there. But to be honest, there is not much else going on in this game.
That's what I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
You scored twice early, but, like, was it just kind of, like, controlling the game, or were you guys still trying to go for it and couldn't put anything?
We are criminally outside of the 18 constantly right now.
Man. So go ahead, Dylan.
Well, I was going to say, I don't want you to take this the wrong way, John. I think if there's ever a time in the short window of anyone else going to win this league, it needs to happen now because you're eventually going to figure it out, but you are the most vulnerable. And when I say that, I mean, like, it's still ridiculously hard to beat you guys, but, like, this is the most vulnerable I've seen you where I don't know who your next few fixtures are, but, like, those teams better take advantage of it because in the next, well, Nick will screw it up. You're right. Okay. Well, after that game,
we're the reset button.
I'm just saying, it might be the get-right game, but, like, if there is ever a time in the next couple weeks, I think now is the time for the other, let's say, Liverpool, Arsenals, who will get on, who screwed it up, like, should be taking advantage of it right now because you're going to end up going on your 15-game run in a couple weeks.
Give some credit to Tottenham.
You're right, sorry. And the Spurs. I forgot about the first-place team. You're right.
I will say this. The track record of us beating United during times like this actually isn't that good. I think
during
you guys
times
always,
like what, when you are always winning?
No, well, I feel like we've split every season over the past couple of years. Like you guys always get one over us.
Are we away? Or is it away? Who's hosting this week?
I don't actually have that in front of me. Michael?
I do. Old Trafford. Maybe.
Yeah.
If usually you guys don't win, John, when it looks like they have no shot of winning.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
And right now it looks like they have at least a little bit of a shot of winning a game.
Yeah.
So I would put all the money I have on City.
Last thing I'll say, red cards. And Michael, you and I have talked about this. Given out like candy.
I just counted.
Yeah, you did?
Do you want to know how many?
Red cards this season?
Yes. So far.
How many?
23.
That's insane.
Do you want to know another thing? I don't know if this is true because I find it hard to believe that, like, people get multiple. There's 23 individual players.
Oh, that's crazy. So no one's had a double.
But the thing is, I don't think it's far enough in the season, like, at any point for you to really, like, you'd had to be really fucking around the first 9 games of the year because you had to get the red card, sit out, and then get another red card. But 23, we have the most as a team. We have 4 total.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see, like, numbers like previous, like, 10 seasons just to see, like, what kind of pace we're on right now.
Yeah, wait a minute, you've had a red card in 4 of your 9 first games?
Yep.
Damn.
It feels like a lot.
It is a lot.
Is a shit ton. There's at least what? 2.5 every week.
Yeah, feels like a lot. And it's not just here. I feel like if I'm watching like Serie A or I've been watching La Liga, if I flip a game on, all of a sudden someone has a red card. Like I just feel like they're pulling it out much quicker than they used to.
Pause.
I think Newcastle, yeah, definitely pause. Newcastle with a 4-0 win. I think that, like, Palace is Palace. This doesn't shock any of us. If it was 1-0, it wouldn't have shocked us. I think if Palace got a point or 1, it would shock us. But this is one or four is pretty much the same. Dylan, you made the comment in Dudes of the Week. Luton Town tying this one up 2-2. They do have a little bit of the dog in them, for sure.
Like, I mean, if you're gonna ever get out of where everyone thinks you're gonna be relegated, like, you have to keep fighting until the end whistle, and they have it. Like, in my opinion, there was no reason for them to win that game for when Forest was up 2-0, and I think, if anything, it's good on you for Luton, and I think Nottingham Forest needs to look themselves in the mirror, because I think they were starting to feel like, hey, we got this, we're going to be mid-table and be okay, and I don't know if that, I hope that's the case, but I don't know if that is something that they should be feeling right now.
And by Luton winning, you mean tying, for sure.
Yes.
Which is kind of a win for them, to be honest with you.
That is a win.
Yeah, for sure. Also, away from home, I think we've multiple times on this pod mentioned, like, it's going to be tough for them to get a point away from home. So, shout out to Luton. Good on them. Nick, 2-1 win over Sheffield. Now, mind you, they are a little feisty, but they're probably the worst team, if not the second worst team in the Premier League this season. What'd you like after you went back and took a look at everything?
Just that there was 3 points on the board. That's really...
True.
I mean, again, we're getting Malacia back. We're getting some guys back. So, who knows? But, again, it's going to be until we get everybody healthy, until Rashford decides to actually show up and actually play. And, and Højlund's still getting his feet underneath him a little bit in league. I mean, it's just going to be a struggle. It's just going to be an absolute battle. So, it shouldn't have been this difficult against the worst team in the league, but again, I think I've said it despite my roller coaster of emotions calling for Baxter the last few weeks. I think that we're just going to have to find a way to grind it out and win. It's going to be a lot of this 2-1, 1-0, just heart in your throat type stuff. And the takeover stuff doesn't help. I'm not going to go into it, but the takeover stuff doesn't help. You're going to say it doesn't affect you, but I mean, there's only so much noise you can block out. So if we can find a way by Christmas to get ourselves into the top 6 somehow, and maybe we get everybody back healthy and get going. But yeah, I just happy that we won. I'm just gonna sit here and take the Dylan route. We won. I'm happy. I'm gonna be go lucky.
It's better that way.
Yeah. Yeah, no expectations is the best expectations right now, so.
Just real quick, we are 8 red cards away from last year's total, and we are halfway to 2 years ago's total red cards, 9 weeks into the season.
Real-time research by Michael Whitaker. I love to see it. Nick, one more positive thing for you. Clean sheet by Onana in the run of play.
Yeah, that's good.
In the run of play.
Yeah, no. Listen, man, I appreciate the positivity. You're just setting me up to crush me later, but I'm going to take this moment while I can, considering I know you're just going to be a complete jerk to me later when we talk about the matchup. So, why would I not take your false positivity right now? Because you're trying to pull a me, and it's okay. I respect it. I don't like it, but I respect it for sure.
The team, Dylan, that I mentioned that we need to give more respect to, Tottenham, 2-0 win over Fulham today. Guys, what else is there to say? I think we're all on the same boat in this one too. Fulham not very good this year. Tottenham look tough. I mean, I'm excited to see who they're playing next because I want to see them have to play some stiffer competition. I feel like.
Well, they have Crystal Palace next, so
yeah.
The Raul Jimenez in after the 70th minute, I'm pretty sure, and then Liverpool. I cannot remember his name. The winger, my God, that plays for Fulham. Harvey Elliott? Harry Wilson.
Yeah,
Good God, I couldn't remember it. Should have had 2 goals. I mean, Raul Jimenez. I know he hasn't scored in 30 Premier League games, his last 30, which is pretty insane. He kicked it right at him, right at Vicario.
But it was really hard.
Sure. Yeah, good point. But Vicario could have just not moved and it would have hit off of him, I guess. And then Harry Wilson, like, he's taken too many touches. Fulham could have, like, came back in that game. Tottenham didn't really put them away. But right now, I mean, it's really hard to kind of nitpick anything that they're doing bad or stuff like that. I agree with you, though, John. I think stiffer competition, like, consistently would be nice to see where they actually are.
Yeah.
So, first off, shout out to Ange for being the first Premier League manager to ever get 23 points in their first 9 games, too.
Most points through 9 games.
Saw that.
And the other part is, I saw a stat that they're averaging, the Spurs defense is averaging giving up 1 goal a game at this point. Do you think, I'm curious, like, I don't think I have the answer to this, but I want to see them, to what you're saying, is against better teams to see if that can hold up. Or do we have, like, a Detroit Lions type of issue here, or even the Dolphins when they start to play these better teams, if all of a sudden what we've been seeing goes away. So I also, like, I will tell you right now, I was thinking that this was a trap game going into Crystal Palace, and after seeing what they did today, I actually think they can beat the teams they're supposed to, which is very unspursy of them. So really happy for them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think they're good. I don't have anything else to say yet, because I just feel like we haven't seen enough. You know what I mean? Like, we haven't seen them play. Michael, have they played you guys?
Yeah, remember it was the worst VAR decision in the history of VAR.
Yeah. True.
You know,
So I gotta see him play a little bit more. Nick, do you want to add something?
Yeah, I just think that's the general vibes around the team and the feel like they just look relaxed and different. Now, granted, it might be because it's still October. You know, start looking at obviously Dylan's favorite time, Boxing Day, and then you get into the Marches in the spring. We'll see how that goes, but I mean, their next few games, they have Palace, they have Chelsea, they have Wolves, they got Villa, City, West Ham. Like, it's not an easy run, but again, it seems like their schedule seems to be, as I scroll through it, spread out nicely, the same way Arsenal's was last year. So there isn't really a lot of City, Liverpool's back to back. As I say that, actually, oh shit, it says April. We're in April, but it goes City, Arsenal, Liverpool. That's the last month of the season, and that's just crunch time anyway.
Yeah.
But they just look like they're loving everything, and you don't see that out of a Spurs team. Even when they're winning and they're hot and you don't look like they're really enjoying just being there. Or there's always some sort of, like, you're waiting for the shoe to drop, and I don't get that feeling from this team.
I think the theme of this pod is don't worry, be happy. Thanks, Dylan, for that one. But, like, I do think there's a little element of that, and it's not that I think Harry Kane was a bad teammate or whatever, but in the back of your mind, if you have the number 1 England striker and the greatest Premier League goal scorer on your team, you probably feel the need to pass them the ball when maybe you shouldn't. And I think now it's just a lot more free. I think if you look at it, the trade for Harry Kane for James Maddison, they're winning right now, essentially, right? Like, that's kind of how it is. One of the teams that is going to be in their next few matches, Dylan's Wolverhampton Wanderers. Dylan, second half team now. What's going on here? Solanke scored in the 17th to give Bournemouth an early lead, but the fighting Gary O'Neills of Wolverhampton had a Cunha goal in the 47th minute to tie it up, and then I'm gonna have to try this name, Kaladzic. Zaza.
Kaladzic.
Zaza. Sasra.
Just call him Sasa.
Sasa.
Sasha.
No, there's no H.
No
Sasa.
H?
It's Sasa.
Yeah, Sasa.
Sassy.
With the game-winning goal in the 88th minute. Michael, to your point, Lewis Cook, 54th minute red card in this one for Bournemouth as well. Dylan. Look good, feel good, play good.
Yeah. I was very worried for the blue jerseys. I like them. If we were going to blow it wearing them for the second time in a row, they were going to have to be excommunicado for the rest of the season.
I meant you. You had your little jacket on. You sent us a little picture. You were feeling yourself. Like,
I knew I had to go for a walk after that game, and when it was down 1-0, I was like, I literally have the perfect jacket for this weather, and I can't even wear it. And Alex just goes, does anyone even know who the Wolves are? Like, I don't think they're going to care what you're wearing. I was like, everyone will know if I wear it. So it needed to be done. And now we can get the blue jersey potentially. That's the only part I was worried about. I needed to make sure that was safe at all points. But if we're going to talk about the game, Tommy Doyle, good at passing. Really happy. That's just got thrown out there. Really happy with him. He came on in the second half, and I think it kind of obviously changed the game with Cunha's goal. Very happy for Cunha to score. I think he got the monkey off his back because he was throwing his hands all over the place for not wanting the ball or getting the ball. That I'm hoping this can lead to us having that third prong to finally start scoring some goals and doing some offense, because he does a lot for us. But he was playing center back in the first half, and it was the most infuriating thing ever. He was dropping so far back. And I know ultimately that was probably some to what Gary was trying to do, but it wasn't fun to watch. Craig Dawson is an unsung hero, still ends up playing very, very well. Max Kilman's kind of shaky. I hope he gets back to his form that he's at. Pedro Neto is going to be $150 million by the time this season's done, so I'm very excited for where that's going. And ultimately, the thing that I didn't understand, the two things I didn't understand is, one, headbutting red cards when it's a love tap, I appreciate it, and Hwang is a great actor, because it was very much a love tap, but we'll take it. And two, the game turned very much into, and Michael touched on it for Liverpool, it's tough to break down a team when you're tied. We have a 6'7" striker, and he didn't come on till the 80th minute when we had 85% possession and we were just crossing the ball. I wish he came on sooner, because I think we could have gotten 2 more goals out of it. But my last point, and I'll pass to you guys, and this will probably also, I'm going to bring this point up in the Arsenal-Chelsea game. What's up with goalkeepers just being a bunch of morons? Because the Neto with one name, literally you're down a man, have really done nothing to push the game forward. You have 10 minutes to just get a tie, and he does a quick restart, which leads to a bad pass that we end up sealing for the go-ahead goal. Sa did this like 3 times earlier this year. That's the thing I don't understand. It was just, I appreciate the gift, but it's just dumb, situational awareness for Bournemouth.
If there's one thing we've learned this season, Dylan, anti-quick start. Anti-quick restart by the keeper.
It's stupid.
Yeah, makes no sense. I got a couple questions for you. One, Tommy Doyle, straight up for Matthias Nunes. You guys are winning the trade so far.
100%. He's also only going to cost $4 million at the end of the day. You're an idiot.
True. And the other question I had totally escapes me. So, great podcasting by myself. Nick, thanks for saving me. You got one question, you said.
I think I know what you wanted to ask him, so I got you.
Okay.
Dylan, are you prepared to say Wolves are safe?
Oh, yes.
No, not until Boxing Day.
All right, so note it. Dylan on Boxing Day will make he will put his flag in the ground. Wolves are safe.
I will say this win makes me I will enjoy just watching the games more than worrying that we need every single point that we get. And we have a 3-game lead on the relegation battle right now, so that's how I'm looking at it. We're 3 games up.
Yeah. I think that's a great way to look at it. Also, teams around you, Fulham, I think on the day you guys catch them, and well, you're ahead of them now, but you can beat those guys. Brentford without Tony, you guys are even with them. Also, Forest as well. I think you're better than Everton. I think you're even with Palace as well. They're in 11th. So I think early predictions on Wolves by myself was stupid.
We can score. It's something that we've been trying to unlock, and we've always had the talent. And it's something where we're down 1-0, and even if we didn't go down 10 men, I thought we were going to get a second goal in that game anyway. So I don't know. It's nice to know that the goal goes in the net. It's just nice to see.
The ball goes in the net, Dylan.
Whatever. I'm excited. All right, we're coming for you next.
I only have one question, and it's because it seems like it's going to be Iraola, but Iraola or company, first manager to get the sack.
I think that will be, and Michael, great transition because this was going to be my last point. Bournemouth Burnley this weekend.
The problem with company is I think he costs a fuckload of money.
Yeah. I think there's also, as much as, and again, Craig, just 6 for 6 or 7 for 7 and getting called out in this pod. Craig did mention.
Maybe that's why they were losing.
Yeah, could be. Craig did mention that they were building this team for a coach like Iraola, but they've never gotten to see success with a coach like this, whereas I think Company has a little bit more of a runway because he won it last year. And they want to play his type of ball. They want to start recruiting younger players that are his type of ball. So I'd be shocked if it's Company.
Parachute funds.
What'd you say?
Parachute money, baby.
Yeah, true. Only other thing I had, Dylan. Am I ever going to get a thank you?
For Tommy Doyle?
No. For the fact that, again, I'm going to bring this up every time. I told people to put their good juju behind you, and I don't think you guys have lost since.
Well, now you're bringing it up. I'm not going to thank you because the problem is now, like, I have positive vibes at home against Newcastle this week, and now I think they're all gone. So thanks for ruining that. I hope that I know what you're doing. It's because I said you guys will never lose a game all year, and then we beat you. So, like, touche.
No worries. All right, a team that I think we all think is very, very good. Aston Villa, 4. West Ham, 1. Also a team I think that we think is pretty decent. Douglas Luiz with a goal in the 30th minute and then hit a pen in the 51st. Michael talked about that in his Dudes of the Week. Ollie Watkins, pause, never mind. Jared Bowen gets one in the 56th. It was 2-1 Villa at that point. And then Watkins in the 74th essentially seals it. Leon Bailey in the 89th definitely seals it. A 4-1 win for Villa. And again, a stat that would be really interesting, but I'm not going to ask anyone to do the math or look it up. Since Unai's been brought on, they have to be a top 4 club for the Premier League, just point-wise, for sure.
I think they're literally 3 or 2. I think they're ahead of us. I don't think they're ahead of City. They might be ahead of Arsenal because of the end of last year. And then also like this year they've been like outrageously good. There were a couple games though where we were saying that they were really good at home, and I think we had like put them, I don't know, like picked them for a game we thought they should win, or maybe like a cup game or something, and they lost a cup game at home to Everton.
Yeah.
But like in the league, it seems like when they play at home, they're absolutely unstoppable. Like top 2 or 3 team. Going away from home, it's a little bit different story. I was kind of hoping that they would play into West Ham's strength a little bit this game. And man, I was watching that game. West Ham could not really get any clear-cut chances. They had a few here and there. But yeah, they're really fucking good. And then the only other thing I had, and then you guys maybe could jog my memory, I think I have been under the impression that James Ward-Prowse was basically a free kick guy who could kind of play the midfield. He is a solid midfielder. Mm-hmm. He's a good midfielder. I thought he played really well even in the loss. I think seeing him play in this game, and I should maybe have been watching him longer, it is like not an England fan at all. It is offensive that he did not get the call up.
Yeah, I think that's very fair. I actually think it's interesting that West Ham got him. Like, I thought there would have been a bigger team going after him for sure.
I mean, he could play. You finally put players around him, and look what happens. You know, it's like you can finally unlock a little bit where he doesn't have to. He's doing too much, or no, you can't get up the ball, whatever it is. He's finally got a pretty good team around him, and you know he can imagine maybe he makes another move. You know, he put him as a squad player in a better team. You never know.
Yeah, I mean, Nick, I'm not trying to. I don't think you'll take offense to this. That's the type of guy that like would have looked good in a United jersey.
Yeah,
I think.
I mean, yeah, because and he's a guy that you're getting a guy that wants to prove himself. He's a good business decision where he wouldn't cost too much and things
Villa's
like that.
a powerhouse at home.
You look at cities and you look at Liverpool, Arsenal's,
all of their home matches.
and Brighton's. They're finding good deals
only
and
good
quality
teams can
players.
go
And
to 1-1 tie.
if you trust Ten Hag to be this guy that develops players, he's a perfect guy that can fit in. He won't be begging for time right away. Then you can go sell McTominay and some other players, but
It's your best striker.
Yeah, that's true. Why is he not wearing the number 9 kit? Because Martial can go burn that thing in freaking the middle of Paris. But what do we know? We're just 4 guys with a microphone in front of us.
That is quite literally all we are. Dylan, any thoughts on this one? Yeah. I had 2 things. Michael, you're going to be the person I'm leaning on for this one. Next week, can we get a quick little synopsis on what's going on with Yuri Tillemans?
I don't think he can get in that midfield.
Just can't play.
I think he's good. I think
Yeah.
you have Kamara. I think you have Douglas Luiz, who looks like one of the best midfielders in the league right now. And I don't know if McGinn is like on the wing a little bit or playing in the midfield.
Him and Zaniolo do like the wingy thing.
So who's their third guy right now? Because I know like Buendia, who was like going to be their talisman this year, got injured immediately.
Yeah.
It was. Let me just take a peek here. It's somebody good. Oh, they just play a 2 because then Diaby and Watkins are up front together.
Yep.
So when they play the 3, like a 4-3-3, he might get in there, but he's not better than Luiz or Kamara right now.
I just looked at the last couple games. Like played a minute, I think, against Wolves. Played has never played more than I think 50 minutes in the Premier League. So interesting. I thought out of all of the relegated teams, we just mentioned JWP. He's a great pickup. I thought he was going to be the biggest one, was Tillemans, but he just can't get in. Nick, give us your last thing before I give my last thing.
Yeah, I was just going to say, too, real quick, I'm glad to see JWP is still up because we were talking to Beckham last week, he is one free kick short of tying the Premier League record, so it's pretty crazy.
100%.
Yeah. Last point I wanted to make, I think we get way too Champions League conscious on this pod, right? Like most of the teams that we're talking about, like midweek, like they got to make sure that they can get people to play the Champions League, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I think those are the teams that we have focused on for the past 2 years too much. There's also been kind of a letdown when you're talking about teams in Europe from England right now. Let me pose this question. There's more money in them doing well in the Premier League than in the Conference League and Europa, right? Like, that might be the answer.
For sure.
So, like, they might look at the Europa League like the Carabao.
No, it's not that bad. The Carabao can't pay for, like, the top players, like, wages for a month.
Yeah. The Carabao Cup, your winnings gets you, like, 35 cases of Carabao.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I was
They
just
get you, like,
thinking
a
about
vending machine.
How many 555 Domino's deals does it get you?
Not enough to have a big party, but you can have a medium party, for sure. Go ahead.
Sorry, because I was just interested because I was looking at Villa's team. I just want a goal-assist combination in the Prem so far. Salah has 11. He's leading it, but his goal-assist XG or whatever is 9.4, so he's a little bit above. Holland is at 10, 8.6. Ollie Watkins, 5 goals, 5 assists. His XG plus XA, like X assists, is 5.1 total. That's crazy. He's doubling it right now. Like his point total or whatever. That is an absolutely crazy stat. And like to put it in perspective, we talked about how good James Maddison has been. He's 5.9 with 8 goals and assists total. I was watching, and I'm gonna help you out, John, because I'm gonna give you something to clip. I was watching, I think it's Pitchside on YouTube with like the 3 guys. I know all their names. I'm just not gonna say them because I don't want to remember. I think a lot of them were saying Ollie Watkins is not a top 10 striker in the Prem, which I think is crazy. I think that's crazy.
Yeah.
Way better than Marcus Rashford right now. We can damn sure say that.
Yeah. Sure.
Diogo Jota has more goals and assists in the past 3 years than Rashford does, and he plays like barely at all.
True. All right. The big game.
Could have lied. No one would know, but I didn't.
I just said true. Big game.
I know.
Chelsea 2, Arsenal 2. Cole Palmer, a penalty goal in the 15th minute. Controversial penalty given. What else is new? It's a new week. It's a new controversial penalty with VAR. But 1-0 Chelsea. And then the most Mudryk goal ever, where people are now debating, did he mean to do it? Did he not mean to do it? I definitely, you got to be an idiot to think that he meant to do this. 2-0 Chelsea up. But then Declan Rice takes advantage of a Sanchez mistake to get one back for Arsenal. And then Trossard in the 84th minute gets shared points here where I think there's a valid question. Did Chelsea lose this one by tying it? Did Arsenal win this one by tying it? And what do we think of these teams now? Like, I was ready to jump on the Arsenal bandwagon again after they beat us last week to be like, all right, they're legit good again. This stunk. I don't know. Dylan, go ahead, start us off.
Goalies are stupid. It was terrible goalie play. Like, I think yes to all of your questions.
Yeah.
Chelsea lost because of the circumstances. Chelsea lost the tie. Arsenal won the tie, but also kind of lost at the same time. And I think ultimately, like, if you're up 2-0 at home, you need to seal the deal, and you need. I was sitting there being like, you know what, Poch might have actually figured us out and proved us all wrong for all the shit we had been talking about this schedule, and then he just fell right flat on their face. And I think it might be something where the young kids at Chelsea are starting to figure it out a little bit, and they just don't know how to finish off games. Might be what the story is, but I think, to me, the bigger point is Arsenal's lucky to get their point and still be in the mix right now and not drop all 3 points. And when does Ramsdale end up getting his job back? Because that's to me where I don't know. Raya's not doing it, in my opinion, and Sanchez doing dumb stuff too. Michael doesn't agree, clearly, from his face.
Listen, the mistake was like a mistake. It wasn't the worst mistake ever. I think
it wasn't
it's
the
like
worst
one of those...
mistake in this game.
No, I think it's one of those things where, like, if you even kind of forget exactly where you are in the goal, you're kind of just like never thinking that is ever going to go in. So then when it does, you're just like, oh fuck, like, you know what the hell. I think Raya's been, ever since he's got the job, I think he's been better than Ramsdale has been, like, period. I think he's a better goalkeeper in all aspects. That being said, Robert Sanchez definitely isn't. That was ridiculous. And then, listen, I'm fully aware. I've said it on this pod. John, we've all said it in passing at some point. We are not pro-Chelsea at all. 0%. I have been incredibly consistent with VAR, though. That handball, and Liverpool had a handball as well. That handball was, I think, where you draw the line of, like, it's too close in proximity to the person. He's, like, making an athletic move, like he's going out like this, you know, to head the ball. I almost wish that if it just hits your hand at any point, like, they don't even do the proximity thing, just so it's, like, clear and cut always, like, it's going to be a handball. But the fact that is still a rule, I had to sit there and think to myself, like, are we taking into consideration that he's, like, 2 feet away? You know what I mean? Like, it's pretty far off. And then I think Arsenal didn't play well at all. I think they're really lucky to get a point. But that being said, like, did Chelsea score a real goal? Like, a penalty, obviously you still got to score it. And then the Mudryk goal, you're just kind of like, okay, well, you could have came out of here with, like, no goals in a sense. So, yeah. I don't know.
I love that Michael did, raise his hand, said, hey, by the way, I am a Chelsea hater. I always have been. I always will be. Did Chelsea score a real goal?
I mean, they scored 2 real goals for sure.
Yeah.
But I think if you're we're offensively, we're back after you saw that performance. I think you're a little delusional.
Yeah, there's a lot of do, whatever it is, with that thing. All right, I didn't have anything else on this. I just knew it was the biggest game. No?
It's pretty boring, to be honest, don't you think?
Yeah. Yeah.
I do. Last thing, I know I said last thing, but here's the actual last thing. This was the halftime of the Ohio State Penn State game. So in the bar, I literally pulled my phone out because I needed, I had Arsenal plus a half, and I had my own 9-leg parlay that I was going for with Nick, and I needed it to hit. Landor Trossard at the back post with that goal. I was the only person in that bar going nuts. I was super psyched. Everyone was like, "Oh shit, is the game back on? Did they forget to put it?" And I was like, "No, I'm watching Chelsea Arsenal, bro."
Obviously not.
Chelsea's back. I'll say it.
Brave man.
I'll say it with the hope of jinxing it, but
okay, perfect.
Okay,
Yep.
okay.
Oh yeah, they're back. They're so back. They're so back.
I love a sleeper cell. Way to go, Nick. There you go. All right, match week done and dusted. Let's get into predictions. Good week. Bounce back week for all of us. The Tuckers led the way. 7-3, both of them. Michael and I, 6-4. Michael's still in the lead with a 56-34 record. Nick and I tied for second place at 55-35. Dylan inching closer, 48-42. Again, all of us over 500, which is kind of crazy. But let's get into it. Palace Tottenham. It's a London derby to lead us off. It is at Palace. But I'm going to say it. I got Big Ange. Big Ange Ball is still going to win this one. A tough loss for Palace this week and a good win for Tottenham, I guess. Michael, who you got?
Spurs. I think this has more goals in it than today, though.
Yeah.
For both
I
teams.
can see that. Dylan?
Can I make a stipulation?
Sure.
I'm taking Spurs, but if Eze is back, I don't know if he's back next week. If he is back, I would like to change my pick to a tie.
Okay. All right.
I just don't know if he's going to play or not.
All in favor?
Why don't you yell at him when he does stuff like this?
Because he doesn't sit there and be like, how many goals did they score last week?
I don't ask that. I literally ask the person whose
out?
team it is if
He went-
somebody is playing.
He went directly to the Court of Appeals. He said, "Hey, I have an appeal. I want if this is this and that is that," and it made it easy. You just made it more convoluted.
I asked a question.
Nick, who you got?
I got Michael kicking your ass. Oh, sorry. I got Spurs. Sorry, Spurs. Yeah, my bad.
Not an upset whatsoever in that one either, Nick. Chelsea being back. They're going to host Brentford next week. Nick, since you are our man on the inside on this one, who you got?
I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. I'll take the Chelseas.
All right. Michael?
I think this is a Chelsea win just because I don't think Brentford could defend well enough to hit them on the counter and actually win the game.
Dylan?
I'm going to go Chelsea too. I don't know why.
I'm gonna do the draw then. I'll be the asshole. Chelsea Brentford draw. Bournemouth Burnley. Loser goes home? Question mark. Game. Dylan, who you picking?
I don't know who to pick, so I'm going to take a tie.
It's good.
I'll be honest,
Good,
I haven't watched enough Burnley, like I said, so I really don't know.
good mathematics there. Nick.
I'm going to go with Brentford. Bournemouth, sorry.
Brentford not in the game. Two other B teams.
That'd be a hell of a pick.
Yeah, I got Burnley, just because I got a back company. And sorry, Craig. Michael?
How dare you? You've never met Vincent Kompany. You don't know him personally. And you're going against our guy. Listen, this is the thing. We brought him up this game, or this podcast. I'm going Bournemouth. If they don't win this one, we don't bring Craig up until they win. Because I think it might be a little bit bad luck. But I got Bournemouth.
True. All right, Arsenal's hosting Sheffield United. Are we just Arsenal?
Yes.
Yep.
Arsenal. Wolves, Newcastle. Dylan.
Newcastle, but I'm optimistic.
Love it. Nick.
Newcastle, and I'm realistic.
Okay, I'm Newcastle, and I'm also realistic. Michael.
Newcastle.
I love that. West Ham hosting Everton. Michael, who you got?
West Ham, bounce back game. They're way better than Everton.
Nick.
Draw.
Oh. Elaborate, maybe?
What the fuck is wrong with you?
A smidge?
I'm trying to win, so I need to separate myself a little bit.
I never understand this thought process. I think Dylan says this too. I want to be different so that I can win. Like, a bad pick's a bad pick.
I don't think so. I think Everton has weird ways and weird games of showing up all of a sudden.
Okay.
And I think this is one of those venues you can go to that isn't an intimidating venue.
Hey.
And it's not. And I think that Sean Dyche always find you can take a little confidence out of the Liverpool game because it's essentially a 1-0 game, late penalty.
Yeah.
Why would they not be able
Penalty
to go?
was the first one.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway.
Well, whatever.
Fine. Only one of the four stooges on this pod hit a 10-leg parlay, so who are we to question? I got West Ham. Dylan, who you got?
Give me the bubbles.
Love it. Aston Villa, Luton. We all got Villa.
Yeah.
I'd buy 50.
Brighton, Fulham. Talk about a bounce back game. I think Brighton takes this one. Michael.
Yeah. I just don't think Fulham's that good.
Dylan.
Can't score.
Brian.
Nick.
Bounce back for Brighton.
Did you say Brian?
Brighton.
Brighton.
Brian.
Liverpool, Forest. Michael.
We play like bottom of the table teams the next couple weeks. We're gonna tie one of them. I hope to God it's not this one at home, but I got Liverpool.
I got Liverpool. Nick.
The team in red. Oh, Liverpool.
Yeah. There you
So good.
Oh,
Such a good
killed it.
joke.
Crushed it. Crushed that one. Dylan, who you got?
Liverpool.
And then the game of the week, easily here. Manchester Derby, Man United hosting Man City. Nick, I'll give you the honors. You give your pick first.
Scott McTominay will score a goal, and City will win 3 or 4-1.
Oh damn, that bad. I would have gone 2-1.
If Varane is playing, it might have a chance. But like if we're playing Johnny Evans and Harry Maguire, like I might just walk out the window from the second floor.
Your
as
chances.
the game starts.
Your chances, Rudy Giuliani. 0.
Okay.
Oh, I was
Mike,
I was a little confused where that was going for a second.
Michael has City. I thought there was going to be like a hair dye joke in there somewhere. I think Haaland gets his groove back on this one. I think City do win it. And I think, again, no matter who's back there, they're not as brawlic as some of the center backs he's been playing. So I think hopefully he can get back on it. Dylan, who you got?
I'll take City.
All right. Predictions in. Dylan, before you get us out of here, give us the bet of the week or your betting corner or whatever it may be.
So I've been dropping some Easter eggs. Aston Villa's at home. They've scored over 4 goals in all their home games. Villa Luton over 3.5 is plus 125. We will be taking that. It is too early for goal scorers, but I think we all know who is scoring a goal as well. Luis Douglas, so take him. And then we will be taking... I screwed that up, didn't I? That's
Douglas Luiz.
Yeah.
Douglas Luiz. You're good. I got you. I get what you're saying, man.
Then I think there's going to be a lot of goals in Burnley-Bournemouth, and by that I mean exactly probably 3. So we'll be taking over 2.5 at minus 125. And then I think there will be not many goals in West Ham-Everton under 2.5 at plus 110.
Love it.
All
right.
If I could just shout myself out again, just to pat myself on the back here, I just want to say this 10-leg parlay, I want the people to hear it. Liverpool moneyline, over 2.5 goals, City, Brighton. Newcastle moneyline, Morgan Gibbs White, 1 shot on goal. Wolves, Bournemouth, both to score. Brentford moneyline. Chelsea, Arsenal, over 2.5. United to win. Both teams to score, no draw. Villa and whoever the hell that was. I'm blanking there. And
Spurs
West
win.
Ham
Spurs
and
win.
and Spurs to win for a total of plus 18,934,
God damn.
which was part of a 100% parlay boost to pay for the honeymoon suite. So let's go, baby.
Love it. Love to hear it. We're gonna get the pod laid back at some point here. I think we've been slacking a little bit, but we'll figure that out for next step. Dylan, get us out of here with a joke.
All right, boys. It's a scary season, so why was the skeleton always left out in the soccer game? Because he had no body to play with. Cheers.
The NAFTAA Podcast.
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.